Mastering phrasal verbs, common mistakes and solutions. Hello, language learners. Today, we're diving deep into an important part of English language learning, phrasal verbs. We will be particularly focusing on separable and inseparable phrasal verbs and highlighting some common mistakes that learners often make. More importantly, we'll share some effective tips and tricks on how to avoid these errors. Before we jump into the common mistakes, let's have a brief recap of what separable and inseparable phrasal verbs are. A phrasal verb is a verb combined with a preposition or adverb, or both, creating a completely new meaning. Phrasal verbs can be separable, you can insert an object in the middle, or inseparable, the words must stay together. For example, turn on is separable. You can say, turn the light on, or turn on the light. Look after is inseparable. We always say, look after the kids, not, look the kids after. Now that we understand what separable and inseparable phrasal verbs are, let's look at some common mistakes and how to correct them. Mistake 1. Misplacing the object with separable phrasal verbs. Often learners misplace the object with separable phrasal verbs. Remember, when using a pronoun, it must be placed between the verb and the particle. For example, you should say, turn it on, not, turn on it. Mistake 2. Separating inseparable phrasal verbs. Another common mistake is trying to separate inseparable phrasal verbs. Just remember that certain phrasal verbs cannot be split up, regardless of whether a pronoun or noun is used. For example, we always say, come across something, not, come something across. Mistake 3. Incorrect verb tense. Phrasal verbs should be treated like any other verb when applying tense rules. The verb part of the phrasal verb should change according to the tense. For example, if the action happened in the past, we would say, she picked up the language quickly, not, she pick up the language quickly. To avoid these mistakes, practice is the key. Try using phrasal verbs in your everyday conversations and writing. Also, when learning new phrasal verbs, make sure to note whether they are separable or inseparable. Now let's quickly review and practice with some examples. Remember, with separable phrasal verbs, you can put the object in the middle. For example, turn off the light, or turn the light off. With inseparable phrasal verbs, the words must stay together. For example, I'll look after your cat, not, I'll look your cat after. The verb part of the phrasal verb should change according to the tense. For example, she picked up the language quickly, not, she pick up the language quickly. Phrasal verbs can be a tricky part of learning English, but with a clear understanding and lots of practice, you can avoid common mistakes and use them correctly. Keep practicing, and you'll master separable and inseparable phrasal verbs in no time. Thank you for watching, and remember, practice makes perfect. Happy learning!